What's up, Eurovision people? My name is Sean, and on my channel, we talk about all things Eurovision. It is the last Eurobuzz stream for this year's season, and we're going to be breaking down the results of the final, and we're going to go into the semis a little bit later on in the stream. But first and foremost, I am joined by our lovely panel. Would you like to introduce yourselves for the last time?
Yes, of course, you all know me. I'm George from Italy, and
This is EPIX EUROVISION Guy from Estonia.
And we will be having Becca coming in a little bit later.
mhm.
If you haven't already, like this video, subscribe to my channel. Although I can't be promising any more content until at least December because Eurovision season is over. And we have a winner with no surprise. It is Loreen's tattoo. Now, very obvious that my tone is very indicative of my reaction. So I'm gonna go straight to Eston. Hello, Becca. Sweden has won.
Hi.
Eston, what are we thinking?
No surprise, really. Come on, we were all expecting this. This was the obvious result, and I would say the only surprise is maybe the margin that Sweden won the jury vote, but she was second, clearly, in the televote. So we can't say she didn't deserve the win. She was great. She was great vocally. The song is appealing to the masses, and of course, I'm sad that we didn't hear a Finnish song win in Finnish in Eurovision. But I think we all know that Finland is the real winner and the public's winner of this year.
You know what, Aston, though? There is massive backlash on the internet because of this. And not from Eurofans, from the people who paid to vote for Finland. It was an unanimous winner. He got 376 points out of 444 that he could have potentially gotten. He didn't get less than 6 from anyone. And there is currently a lot of backlash against Loreen, who did nothing wrong. But at the same time, picture yourself being a casual viewer, a casual watcher, watching the jury votes unfold. People were probably surprised that many were, even our commentators were talking about it like being potentially rigged because they were wondering about how Sweden was winning the jury vote by such a huge margin. I mean, twice as much as the second placed. While I think that Loreen is a deserved jury winner, there's nothing that justifies that margin. Absolutely nothing. This is actually sending a message to everyone. Hey, you need to send the most safe, radio-friendly songs and you will do well. Don't take any risks. This is awful, in my opinion, for Eurovision. And the fact that they showed the two voting split, so the public saw that huge margin in the jury and then the expected televoting result that Finland got, and Finland won by a landslide, it made everything worse. I think that people kind of felt like Spanish people last year at Benidorm Fest when their decision to vote for Tansugueiras was overturned by the juries. And that's why I think that next year, actually, in order not to lose money on televotes, because this year the televote in Spain was a disaster, 35,000 people voted. The revenue was basically zero. I think that next year they might consider reducing the power of the juries, if not eliminating them completely. Martin Osterdahl,
Which they should.
Yeah, Martin Osterdahl had already said that he had been thinking of eliminating the juries altogether, but then they only stopped at the semifinals just to test it this year. I think that after this backlash, and once again, Loreen has no fault, but she's inevitably, incited.
She's fronting all of it. She's the face of all of this.
Yeah, of course, she has no fault. She performed amazingly. She just was not what the public wanted, because when Finland won, it turned out that Finland won 18 countries' televotes. Then you understand that it was the unanimous winners. It won in places like Serbia, even. And Finland is not a country that normally does well. So they only have 3 top 10s in this millennium. I mean, and then you see Sweden that didn't win one single televote. I mean, people are going to think there was something fishy. There was nothing fishy, of course. It's just that the juries are mostly radio hosts, as you said. So this is not heading towards a good thing at Eurovision, in my opinion. The fact that Sweden won in this way doesn't give it a good image in the public.
But
Becca,
Sweden was
you were
still
with
clearly
me.
the second in the public vote.
Okay, but she was second with a huge margin. I mean, there was a tiny margin between second and third, but between second and first, the margin was huge. She didn't win any televotes. That means that in no country was she considered the best of the night. And I think this is very telling. Like, the public, she was second, okay, but the public didn't want her. They wanted someone else. The public paid to vote for Finland. The public wanted to see Finland, and instead they see their result overturned by a group of 185 people. I can understand why the backlash is going on. She was second, but the margin was 133. It was not like with Kaino, where the margin was 30 televote points. You know, this was huge.
Becca, you were with me in the room, and we were obviously very, very inconsolable.
Devastated. And I still am. I still am. Just a bit better, but I still am very, very pissed. I mean, I wanted Finland to be the winner. I mean, I definitely did not want Sweden. And I'm just still very pissed. It's just, you know, I mean, I completely agree with what George has been saying. With Giorgio, it's just like, I mean, clearly Finland is the winner. I mean, you could have heard the people yesterday on the TV yelling and screaming, cha cha cha. I mean, clearly
that was a beautiful moment.
That was beautiful. And then Graham, and then he said, like, okay, clearly you love Finland. Yeah, hell yeah, we love Finland. Yeah, why the fuck did Sweden win? You know, it's just, and even the amount of points the jury gave to Sweden, like what? Oh my
that
God.
was nonsensical. I mean, she was a deserved jury winner. I would admit that.
No,
but
she was good.
Justifies
It
that
was
landslide.
very good.
Nothing
but
justifies that landslide.
No, exactly. Just
And
no.
we have
clearly
to mention that Finland got 0 from 14 juries. And
Okay, but that's
with all
normal.
of that,
But that's
to
expected.
me, it's like when you have, let's just you know, say that, okay, it was never a song that we thought will be rewarded heavily by the jury, but to me, coming after the whole result and seeing how the televote completely wanted Finland to win, it's embarrassing again for anyone on those juries, those 14 juries who completely blacked out Finland, to say, oh my God, I did not have the televote outright landslide winner in the top 10. And I'm not saying it's anything surprising. I do not expect any better from the juries. But you would think, you know, the juries have been banned from the semifinals altogether.
I think that the next step is to ban them from the final as well. But also for Sweden's sake. Also for Sweden's sake, though. I mean, the supervisor of the votes is Swedish. This doesn't help. They need to save their face somehow. And what else can they do? They can just admit that the juries have done what they had to do in these years. They, we could say, they contributed to ameliorating the quality of the lineups. But now, without them, the Eurovision can go on very easily. And they can also, and at the same time, this would also reduce the damage, the economic damage that is going to be done to the televote, because the televote is a massive revenue. I remember in 2015, 28 million single televotes were cast. It was revealed. And if that revenue goes down, then it's not going to be good for them. So I think they will also think economically.
There's always TikTok, Baileys, Booking.com, and Idealista partnerships to save the EBU from going bankrupt, I guess.
Okay, but
but I take your point. Like, where should the money be coming from? These partnerships that don't do anything good for Eurovision at the end of the day, or the televote? I mean, it's all money.
The televote is easy revenue, and cutting it in half would not be a good idea. They should really consider getting rid of the juries. Also, you know what also we saw this year? That the patterns, like the migrant patterns, the neighbor patterns, were almost erased. I was actually surprised. I mean, look at, for example, Serbia. Okay, their performance was weak, but even Croatia barely voted for them. Switzerland.
And even Greece is not, or Cyprus, which one was it? They
But
didn't
that was
vote
in the
to each
jury.
other. Oh, that was in the jury.
That was the
At the
jury.
same time, I mean,
Cyprus is
still,
one
it's
country,
also-
basically. But so many patterns were destroyed.
No.
So even Italy's migrant partners, we gave 6 points to Finland, and we gave less to countries that have huge communities here. Okay, us giving 12 to Moldova was predictable because that song was actually very much liked here, and there's a lot of Moldovans and Romanians living here. But think, for example, of, I don't know, Austria was always giving 12 points to Serbia in the previous years. This year, they barely gave them anything. So a lot of these patterns have been destroyed. And also, Lithuania is no longer winning the televotes of the UK, Norway. So I think that the juries have just done their course, and now it's time to let the people decide alone.
At the same time, I feel like the jury, well, it was implemented to counter all of the, well, joke entries and the other side, to have more quality songs, to have more ballads, pop songs, radio-friendly songs. And I mean, looking at the voting, the jury really gave a lot of well-deserved points to Austria, to Australia, to Estonia, to Belgium,
Spain.
to Italy.
That was not a really friendly song.
And
We're
we
talking
need
about
more songs as
well-deserved.
well. I mean, okay, that's a matter of taste.
I mean, if we go on like this, it's always a matter of taste, isn't it? But yeah, I completely take your point. What I will say is that we always tend to, as Eurovision fans, we get caught up in these conversations, maybe at work or with non-casual Eurovision viewers, with casual Eurovision viewers who are not fans. And a lot of the discourse, especially here in Malta, for instance, is that the voting is too political. And I must say, even though I'm constantly, I always believe that the good songs rise to the top, whether or not there is a Croatia in the middle, or whether or not there's some migrants voting for their countries from other countries. There's always that stuff going on, which is understandable. But to me, the political element really, really came out in the jury vote, because Sweden is the angel of the North. Sweden is politically the country that most of the countries in Europe look up to in terms of politics, infrastructure. Sweden is the example for so many of them, whether you agree or not. And it's like a safe country to vote for. It's nice to look like you're voting for Sweden. And even Eastern countries, Albania gave 12 points to Sweden in the jury. Moldova gave 12 to Sweden in the jury. I just think it's come to a point where it's so politically obvious that Sweden is getting the edge.
But Sean,
But is it really that political? I mean,
no.
The song
Sweden
itself, the vocals, it was expected that the jury.
It was
if it came
expected,
from
but
Norway,
the
it doesn't matter.
landslide
It came
is what I'm
from
talking
Yeah,
about.
but Sweden only sends
completely blanking out Finland.
Sweden only sends one type of song: generic, safe, radio-friendly songs with a captivating performance. They can only do one thing. They can't do anything else, and they keep doing it because the juries keep rewarding them, no matter how much the televote score is consistently lower. This is not a good message, in my opinion. If we got rid of the juries, then Sweden will be encouraged to try something new, because they are the biggest exporters of pop music in Europe. That's true, but their music industry doesn't end there. And yet it's the only thing that's represented even in Melodifestivalen. No matter how much they try to sneak in some Schlager, something else, it's engraved in the mind of the Swedes that pop music, safe pop music, is what they need to send, is what represents them, which is not true. There's much more to Sweden than that. There's also that, but also something else. And I feel like people are more annoyed that Sweden itself was the winner rather than Loreen, who is a great performer, a great singer. There's no denying of
Oh,
that.
absolutely. Yeah.
People just don't think it was deserved, in my opinion. Like when we were watching, we were all surprised that Sweden was leading with that landslide, because twice as many points as the runner-up in the jury. I mean, it looks like a joke.
It's too much. It's
Try
But I
to
think
put your
especially when Finland landslided the televote so hard.
yeah, but try to put yourself in the eyes of a viewer, like a casual viewer. They're going to think this is rigged.
But if
I wouldn't
we
blame them.
remove Finland from the final, just imagine. I think the outrage wouldn't be there, or at least not by this margin,
Yeah, but
because
they-
people they wanted Finland to win, and they knew that Loreen and Sweden was the country standing between them and the victory. If the Finnish song wasn't there, I think we wouldn't have this discussion right now. We would say, yeah, Loreen was the deserved winner. She was great. She won both the jury vote and the televote. Good job.
But that's not how it went, unfortunately.
That's
We
not
need to
how it
look at
went.
reality, unfortunately.
But we keep blaming Sweden and Loreen for something that they are not responsible for, that they are not
Well,
guilty of.
I mean, I think this is like the conversation when Blanca won the Polish national final. You know,
No, that
poor
one was
Blanca,
corrupted, though.
Poor
That's
Chanel, poor
another
Chanel had
topic.
nothing to do with winning Benidorm Fest. Listen, if you're fronting this project, I think you always have to take responsibility for it. I'm not one of those who will take it out on the artists. I think if we didn't have the artists, we would not have a Eurovision to begin with. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of people were. Like a lot of people came to Eurovision with, oh my God, there's Loreen this year. So of course it helped. But the reality is that Finland won the televote and Sweden won the jury in a really, really, to me, a lot of juries' points were very not objective, in my opinion. This is not, right or wrong. It's just the way I feel about things when I see Finland not getting points from 14 juries. But let's move on a little bit from Sweden and Finland, because we can go on for this forever.
Yeah.
Sweden is the winner, but
Mhm.
Finland is the real winner. Our
Yeah.
hearts are with
Yes.
We
Kaja,
can also
and I
think
am
of the
out to see
future,
them on
though.
Tuesday.
I mean, think about next year's lineup. I had already been saying
I
this.
don't want to think about it.
I mean, the message here is that you need to go to Sweden, get yourself a generic pop song produced there,
Oh God.
and that will be your song to do well with the juries and to win overall, because the juries decide everything. Like, imagine if they don't remove the juries, that's going to be the mindset of many broadcasters.
But Finland also proved that you can do really well with a completely different song. You still have the option to win, and it's possible to do well in your own national language. You already have seen that in Eurovision.
Okay.
I don't
The
think the
televote.
next year will be just pop song after pop song.
Okay, but the last time it happened, Italy 2015, did that inspire anyone in 2016 to do the same? No. Everybody just tried to do Sweden. All the songs, well, almost all the songs were produced in Sweden. They had Swedish songwriters. Nobody tried to replicate the formula of Italy, going with something very representative of their country. The one who did, in the end, was the winner, Jamala. But most of the others, Serbia was singing in English. Who else? Montenegro bought a song from Sweden. It was disastrous that year, in my opinion. It was very dire.
Alternative winners. We had jazz. We had Israel, which was crazy on so many levels. I mean, Arcade was pop song, but every other song was something very different.
Oh, I also need to add another thing, by the way. I feel like this Swedish, I don't want to spread any conspiracies, but I feel like the Swedish victory has been a bit orchestrated since the get-go. When Tattoo
Yes.
came out, Universal
Yes.
Music Sweden, who is responsible for Tattoo, spammed it on every playlist on Spotify. Its streams were high, not only because of organic interest in Loreen, but also because it was number one Hot Hits Netherlands, number one Hot Hits Norway, and so on. There was also this autoplay feature on Spotify that played her song a lot. She basically got Ed Sheeran, Ariana Grande type of promotion out of nowhere. So they were pushing her hard. The bookies welcomed her right away as the runaway winner, just like they did with Duncan Lawrence, in fact. And it was engraved in everyone's mind that Sweden was going to be the winner, basically. These are all little shenanigans that have been used in the past few years, in my opinion, to, manipulate.
But the
At
fans
the
were
subconscious
crazy as well
level.
when Loreen won. The fans were really supportive of Loreen. They thought the song was great, and I
In
mean,
Melody Festivalen, you mean?
no, overall, when she announced the song, when she won Melody Festivalen,
Oh, yeah. But
the fans
yesterday,
really loved it as well.
the Liverpool Arena was quite disapproving. I mean, they kept chanting
Well,
cha-cha-cha. Even when she won, they were like, cha-cha-cha. I mean, the public was not supportive.
Rumor has it, people were booing.
They were. I heard
and
them.
yeah,
they were.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
they
I'm so
were.
happy
Our
for them.
commentators
didn't hear
went
it.
silent. Our commentators went silent, and you could hear that the arena was not approving of her.
I didn't hear it on the
They
night,
were-
but I saw some Twitter videos of like people in the arena.
Yeah, I didn't
People
hear it
were
on the
mad.
TV yesterday.
But
But
we
it's
were
a
too
normal
angry to hear
reaction.
it.
I mean, all those televote points from the people who paid to vote once again and who are not paid to vote like the juries, and yet they saw their result overturned by the decision of 185 people. I will feel scammed as well. I personally prefer Tattoo to Cha-Cha-Cha, but
Yes.
I want to pull up this comment. There has to be a jury to balance things, but wherever there's human nature behind things, there's a way for corruption and P2P games. Question is how to choose unbiased people. And
You know
Matthew's
what?
guy, that's actually a really good point. I think wherever the jury is gonna be, you can never have as much of a generalized result that emulates, as many tastes as possible. The reality is, and we've been saying this ever since, the jury was introduced, I personally don't think 5 people is enough to add up to the same votes of millions or at least thousands of people in the televote. And especially if we are discouraging the televote like this, it's going to be much easier to corrupt the televote as well, because we've seen it in smaller countries, Kirkorov Gate and Moldova in 2021. It's easy to manipulate the televote when you have money. And the pity for me is that if the televote is going to be less and less encouraged, if people are going to be less encouraged to vote, it's going to end up, it's already clearly easy to manipulate the jury, whether it's intentional or not. But it would be such a pity to manipulate, for it to be easier to manipulate the televote as well. But let's move on a little bit from Sweden and Finland for a minute. And let's talk about Israel, who came third. The odds did have
How
it
the hell
narrowing
did
down.
Israel came third?
The odds did have it narrowing down, and her performance was very impactful. Great running order as well. I will say I wasn't expecting the juries to get behind it so much, but clearly the televote liked it as well. Becca, you don't seem too happy about Israel.
I'm still pissed. So if I understand that Israel was one of the favorites. I understand that people like it. Personally, I never was behind the song. I expected to come around like the first 5, but not third. Maybe 5th, I would be happy, but not 3rd place. Come on, no, just no. And I'm surprised, the same as Sean said, of how many juries voted for Israel. And I was like, damn. No.
I gave all my votes to Israel. Actually, it was my favorite, and I was also surprised they came that high. But I'm pleasantly surprised. It was a balanced result. She basically got the same score from the juries and from the televote. So, when it's this balanced, then everyone kind of agreed that her place was there. And she was number 5 in the televote, but 10, even 5 more points. No, yeah, few more points, and she would have been number 4. So.
Yeah, and the jury vote is very understandable. She sounded great. And it's a very radio-friendly, very pop song. It is very understandable why the jury went for this. I'm not really surprised. I think that the 3rd place was kind of expected for Israel.
I wouldn't say
Italy came
expected.
4th.
I was just saying I wouldn't say expected, but I would have thought she wouldn't end lower than 7th. So I'm glad that she was 3rd in the end.
She was always coming top 10. Italy came 4th, and I'm super happy about this because this is
me too.
This is I wasn't expecting the juries get behind it as much as they did, because I did say I'm not expecting the juries to be so subjective towards Italy, because they have been blanking out Italy in the past. So I'm glad that I was wrong on that. But the televote really got behind Marco Mengoni as well, and I think Italy got a really, really well-deserved result.
Yeah, but you know what, Sean? I never really liked this song, but when I saw the performance, I was completely sold. I mean, he performed with such real emotion,
He did.
and that left an impact on the viewers. Like, the moment felt magical. He had perfect vocals, and in the end, he showed true emotion by like breaking down on stage from all the stress and everything, and people connect to this. Okay, the first thing that Italy does right, in my opinion, is sending very capable experienced performance like him.
Absolutely.
But when you add the emotion to your performance, then people are going to connect it even more and vote for it. This was a standard Italian ballad, sang in Italian by a very Italian-looking man. That was already enough of a good package. He added the emotion to it, and he got twice as many votes as he would have gotten otherwise. So he did an amazing job.
But I still don't like the trampoline. That was
Like, I don't know what the point of the trampoline was, but
just
to make the stage look fuller.
Even better.
Yeah. Rounding out the top 5 was Norway. Expected result from the televote. For me, it was also an expected result in the juries. I did not expect the juries to get behind it, and they didn't. But yeah,
I mean, I was expecting their vote to be much more balanced, like 150 from both parties, and end up top 5. I was shocked that the juries were not so merciful with her, and I was shocked that the televote was actually so high for her, because I didn't think that her performance was great. She could have done better. She still did her country and Italy as well proud. But the song was strong enough. I mean, it was the typical, Game of Thrones type of song that is anthemic, that works both at Eurovision and in real life. So people were like, whoa, this is so cool, let me vote for it. And I like how she ended 6th in the semifinal and 3rd in the final. Like, that's a good redemption for her. Yeah.
That was a shockingly low score.
She came 6th in the semifinal?
Yeah, but number 3 to number 6 were pretty close.
Yeah.
Oh, because I didn't see. I didn't see the result.
So we've talked about our top 5. Many shockers for me in the final altogether, but you want to go around and name someone and talk about it in particular?
Why don't we keep going down? Like because number 6, 7, 8.
Much time.
Oh.
Just go around and name your country.
I was so invested in Finland, I didn't even see what other countries came to.
Eston, you must be happy that Estonia made the top 10, as we've been predicting for a while. The jury got behind this massively. Not so big on the televote, but still made the top 10. What are your thoughts?
Very happy. As I said, I expected 5th to 7th place in the jury vote. We got a lot of points, but which was surprising. What was surprising was that we did not get any points from the Nordic juries. All of our jury points came from Southern Europe, Balkans, Central Europe. We got points from San Marino, Slovenia, Germany, and the only Nordic country that gave us any points in the jury was 2 points from Sweden, which was a shocker.
What did Estonia do to the Nordic countries to piss them off?
They needed more radio friendliness, maybe.
Maybe they really don't want us in the Nordics group. But
I don't think they want you.
They don't want you to change your flags to a cross.
Yeah.
But I expected maximum 30 points from the public. That was expected, and overall, yeah, top 10. I think we can be very happy. And another thing, of course, sorry, Sean, but my highlight was the 5 points to Spain. I love that. I told you it's not going to
We
go
have to
well
talk about
in the
Spain.
public.
We have to talk about Spain.
Yeah, we do.
Listen, I have no I don't do these predictions or conversations or anything on YouTube. I don't do anything to try to be right. And I have no problem acknowledging defeat, as you all know, and I will say it. And I still believe that Spain is my number one this year. Spain is my favorite song. Perhaps it is more of an acquired taste that I would have expected. It is more of a we can put it in the category of songs like Telemoveish, maybe, that Europe just wasn't ready for. The last place in the televote was completely shocking. I will go out on a limb and say undeserved, obviously, because it is my favorite song. However, I feel like as commentators, we have to own up sometimes that our commentary is always very much biased on the songs that we like. And we will always think that the songs that we love will have a higher prediction than what they normally will get. I think Blanca Paloma has all my respect. She dealt with the defeat very gracefully. She's an artist. She's an icon. She's, for me, a fantastic singer, and she's already releasing new music. Spain came 17th, which is still one of their best results in their latest run. However, it pains me to say that she got as many points as Manel Navarro in the televote.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just guess Europe wasn't ready for it, and it was too divisive of an end.
Well, Sean, you'll be happy to hear that my mom voted for Spain. It was her favorite. She adored it.
Oh,
And even I, actually watching the live performance, I did not dislike it. So I moved it up in my scoreboard to number 22, actually.
Spain won Eurovision.
I was very impressed, really, by her. It's not a song that I will go back to listen to in studio, but I was impressed by it. I liked the energy on stage. I like how they performed it. It had a very Spanish flavor for those who know the real Spain and not the Holiday Village Spain. But unfortunately, most people only know the Holiday Village Spain, and that was not what they wanted from them. So my invitation for them to send a Ricky Martin wannabe next year is still valid.
Yeah, but I will actually say the same. It was the first time that I did not extremely hate Spain. It is still, of course, my 37th place, but the performance was excellent, and the song is not good, but yeah, she did what she could, and Spain can still be very proud.
Absolutely. I think Spain should be proud. I gained a lot of Spanish subscribers this year, and if anyone's watching, Spain, please don't lose hope. Spain, don't lose hope. Send something that you are proud of. You guys were proud of Blanca Paloma this year. Send something that you guys are aware of. Send something that you're happy with. And we're clearly seeing that the results are not as popular as they used to be. Not many people are accepting the results as much as they used to in the past because of whatever we've talked about just before. And I wouldn't say the result doesn't really matter for this one, because at least Spain is doing something that many other countries wish they can do. I want to transition quickly because I get this comment here to France. Any comment about Lazara?
Yes, can I comment on this?
Public vote. Yes, Becca, go
I want
ahead.
to comment on this. I love her for doing that. I mean, the fact that, because since they would be live on TV, they have to be composed. If they lose, they have to do the kind of the face kind of, But in reality is, if it was me, if I had a good song and I gave a good performance, and then I get the kind of result, hell yeah, I would do the middle finger. I would be pissed off. I mean, they're fucking human beings, like all of us. So you know what? good for her. I love her personality. I wanted France to do better, and if that's what she do, I would have done the same thing. So you know what? Good for Lazara.
But you know what? It's also consistent with her image. I mean, she's an unbothered lady,
Yeah,
and she was like,
exactly.
and she also did the middle finger in a very classy way. So
Yeah,
It wasn't even.
I like
She
it.
said it on her story. It wasn't even a middle finger. It was like it was something they do at home when they show disappointment. I don't know
it
if
was
it's
a middle
called out or
finger,
anything, but whatever
It
it
was a
was,
middle
and we
finger.
love
I
her for
don't blame her.
that.
It
We
was
love
a
her for
real.
that.
It was a
Yeah.
natural emotion for me.
Okay,
I started
exactly.
shaking.
Yeah, but I was really expecting her to do much better. Her performance was stellar. She was not moving. Well, she was moving more than certain others. Like she moved more than the secret guy, for example, while standing on that hill of a dress. And yet, the camera work was excellent. The song was excellent. Her vocals were on point yesterday, so she deserved more points.
Yeah.
But
I mean, it
France
was
is
a
known
lot
for
better
sending strong
than
contenders and flopping.
it was a lot better than in the rehearsals, but
Mm-hmm.
still, I mean, take it like Blanca Paloma did. You don't need to. That was very. I didn't like what she did, and I can understand the emotion, but you're a professional. You gotta handle it better. That's not the way to take. I wouldn't even say defeat because she got a very respectable result in both the jury and the public vote. She didn't get low points.
Her result was very balanced, I guess. But I, I did find the performance. I always thought Lazara could give a better vocal performance. Like that high note was still not perfect, in my opinion. And the staging, while it was fine, I don't know. Like for a song as grand as that, I I think it could have gone better. But a lot of people are actually saying, "Oh my God, Lazara was always a diva," and this kind of thing. Can I just say, in Madrid pre-party, Lazara showed up to everything on time. She spoke to everybody. She came
Hmm.
on the red carpet when she needed to, on the purple carpet. She behaved just like everyone else. Whereas on the other hand, there was another artist that did not show up on Friday night, showed up late at the press conference,
Yeah.
showed up very late at the purple carpet ceremony,
And who is
and
that?
she did not speak to many people on the purple carpet. Take a
The
guess.
person take a guess.
I don't know. You tell us.
Maureen.
Lorraine?
Yeah.
Oh well, and it's not like Lorraine is booked outside of Eurovision, so that she doesn't really
Exactly.
have a justification. I mean, she will go
I mean,
back
I'm
to
just
being
defending.
she
Yeah,
will
I'm
go
just
back to be
defending
a
Lazara.
one-hit wonder next year. So
Yeah, it's just for me, Lazara. Everyone be
mhm.
diva shaming her. She's not a diva at all. She came here. She did what she had to
No,
do.
exactly.
She has a
She's
right
only
to
a
do.
diva image-wise, but when it comes
She's
to
classy.
her engagement, of course,
Exactly.
she has a very French flavor. We can't blame her for anything. I think
Can
she's
I
very
just point?
consistent.
Can I just point out Belgium's result? Like they
Yeah,
voted so much for Belgium. It did so well. I was shocked. Like it came top 10. No, correct me if I'm wrong. Top 10. It came
number
first
Seven.
place, I think. 7 or 8.
seven.
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 Like it came 7th. I never thought Belgium was gonna be 7th. Hey,
Yeah, I
what?
I thought they could number 10 could come like number 10 maybe.
Yeah,
Number
or
7
maybe
is very high,
even
but
11 or 12, but not 7th. I was like, what?
Yeah, it's a bit too high.
it's
It's a
very
bit too high,
high.
no?
But I mean, it was a fun song. He performed well. He encapsulated the spirit of Eurovision very well, so I'm not going to complain.
Yeah,
I will say,
great
if
stuff.
this wasn't Belgium and if this wasn't a very politically correct representation of queerness, I don't think the juries would have gotten behind it as much as they did. I do think there was an element of political correctness there that, yes, let's support a Western European country, supporting gay culture and gay representation in a contest that is followed by so much by the gay community. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I again, sometimes we pick on Sweden and say, oh, you wouldn't vote for it if it wasn't Sweden. But uh, seeing how the televote was like, okay, calm down. They did vote for Belgium. I think they came like
Hmm.
12th in the televote, but this was never the song that we thought the juries would vote much more than
Yeah.
this vote was.
But he was vocally perfect.
Yeah.
The vocals were
was.
excellent, and it
And the
was
performance was charismatic.
not an easy song to sing. So
Mhm.
I understand why. It's still a surprise, but I completely understand why, and I wouldn't mix politics into Belgium's jury vote here. I don't think.
Boy,
that-
George was very happy.
About what? About Belgium?
Boy, George. Yes, boy,
Ah,
George.
yeah.
But
Yeah,
Let's look
I mean,
at
the
it a bit.
decision was clear.
Yeah.
So
I was going to say that one thing that was more shocking that France's result was Slovenia.
oh yeah.
Yes, yes.
I mean,
That
I
was
knew that the juries will floor them, but the televote giving them only 45, right? I mean, I did not
That's
understand
not-
that, especially with such a good running order.
And
That
even
was
looking
very
at the semi-final result, they did not do well in the semi-final.
No,
I mean,
no. It was such a good performance, though, so it's hard for me to explain.
Who won the second
Australia.
semi-final?
Australia.
Australia. Oh. And who came last?
Deservedly.
San Marino,
Well,
Romania,
San Marino,
together.
Romania.
Well,
Zero.
Zero.
Just
Okay.
before we get into the semis,
Yeah.
let's look a little bit at the bottom of the scoreboard of the final.
No, I have
Because-
some more comments, actually, like some other countries that shocked me.
Okay, go ahead.
Cyprus, for example, how the hell did that come 12th?
Cyprus came 12th.
Yeah, it's inexplainable to me. 11th in the televote, even. I mean, I thought that was like the most unremarkable performance of the night. Like, it looked very lame and cheap. Especially before Spain, which looked completely the opposite. Spain was very professional, and then you had Cyprus.
I'm officially not watching Eurovision anymore.
No, you
We
are.
know that's not true.
I know it's not true, but
Anyone, I will say I'm happy to say that I was wrong on Spain, and but I was very right on Albania, and it was really nice.
Oh,
to see
yeah.
that Albania
Top
came
10 in the
inside top
televote.
10 of
It did
televote.
very
I'm so
good.
happy. I did say it's getting 12 in the rest of the world vote. Kosovo, Miren Brema.
Miren Brema.
I'm so happy that Albania came this high in the televote. Obviously, the juries were always going to ruin it for them because that's what juries do. But that was a fantastic
Fuckers.
performance. That was a fantastic performance.
was
from
fantastic.
Albania. I think
But you didn't
maybe
get 12 from the rest of the world.
in the semifinal.
In the semifinal, yeah.
In the semi, okay.
Yeah.
And we need also to talk about a couple more things. So, Ukraine's televote result.
yeah, what about
I think that
Why did it get so much?
a lot of support for
Okay,
them
good.
still.
Bloody hell, Ukraine.
So I was thinking 150 maybe, but almost 200. Oh,
That 200 was too much.
yeah.
It was. We knew it was coming, though. I mean, there's still this whole, even in a contest where you cannot for 1 minute forget that Ukraine is in this situation. I mean, people were constantly reminded. Of course, it's gonna get all of these votes. I will say I never liked the song by Ukraine, but the performance to me was really, really good. I
Yeah.
like the staging a
It
lot.
was vocally weak. Yeah.
It was vocally weak, but the performance for me stood out. And I don't think it should have been in the top 10. But
No, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
at least
And-
it went out on a good performance.
Another thing I wanted to point out, let's see. Oh, Czech Republic on in top 10. That was great.
Mhm.
But I was
Very well
expecting
deserved.
the two votings to switch, actually, like 100 from the televote and less from the juries. So they deserved more televote support. In Italy, we really liked them. We gave them televoting points. In the semi, we gave them 8 even. In the final, we gave them, I think, like 2.
Ukraine will continue until
Yeah.
the war ends. Yeah.
Especially if they send something like Oliskova from last year's Vitbeer. Like, that song would have been second in the televote this year. Easily.
Anyone thinks that Portugal should have gotten a higher place? Because
Mhm.
I do. I was particularly
Mhm.
surprised. You're talking about switches, Giorgio.
Yeah.
I was expecting the jury to go lower for Portugal and the televote to go much higher.
Mhm.
And again, it makes me question the televote so much this year because it wasn't what we usually expect how the televote would go. Like, we got so many wrong predictions on the televote because
Yeah.
Portugal, for instance, even Serbia, and we would have expected much higher televote scores
So
for
let's
these
remove
countries.
the televote.
No, but
wrong?
it's food for thought, isn't it? It's food for thought. I thought Mimikat gave an amazing performance last night.
She was
she did.
definitely more comfortable this time on the stage.
She was my
today.
dad's favorite as well.
Mhm.
Your dad
And
missed
she
it.
was not the only very low televoting score, actually, that surprised me. Also, Austria. I know they were not advantaged
Yeah.
because they opened, but 16 points? Come on, I was expecting around 50.
But it was
Not
a
the
weak
televote
performance.
smash. I thought it was funny. I mean, and on the other hand, a vote that was low, in my opinion, like compared to what we all expected, was Switzerland's jury vote. I was expecting
Thank
them to
God.
go much higher. I know, but
I think Estonia took a lot of points from Switzerland.
oh, they did.
Mm-hmm.
Because Estonia felt more like something that you will hear outside of Eurovision. Switzerland would not exist outside of Eurovision.
I want to button it up on the final so we can talk about a bit on the semis, but I just want to close on Moldova, the UK, and obviously Germany. I personally
and
think
Poland's televote.
Moldova, I think Moldova, again, very expected result, blanked by the juries and supported by the televote, even though we expected a higher point for Moldova, but they came top 10 in the televote.
And they will keep doing it. They don't care.
Moldova, keep doing what you're doing. The UK came second to last, and I have to say I predicted this. That
Well
performance was just so
deserved.
good.
And one more thing before we move on. I'm really happy for Australia. I really hope this would get top 10, deservedly so. But the televote, I can't understand the 21 points. Where did all the votes go? Was it really to Finland because Slovenia didn't take the rock vote? Germany definitely didn't take the rock vote.
Yeah.
21 points to Australia is a real crime, but at least the jury saved them. And Croatia, I thought, would get at least 150 from the public.
I was dead wrong about Croatia. I thought they would win the televote. They only got 112. That's fine, though. I mean, they still came 13th. That's just the edge of the left half of the scoreboards. They can be super proud. And next year, I hope that Dora goes back to its origins of being the best national final.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It used to be considered such back in the day.
Yeah. Okay, semifinals. I have to kick it off. The busker last.
Wait, we didn't discuss Germany. Germany's last place.
Is there
What is there
anything
to discuss?
I was right.
You were right.
I just wanted to brag.
We got one prediction right. Clap your hands for the Eurobuzz live panel, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think it was deserved, but there is just something about Germany that they.
But it didn't stand out.
It did not. Okay, semis. The busker, Malta came last. I have to say, like after seeing the results of the final, I was kind of expecting Malta to just not do very well at all. I don't think they were lucky in any way, shape, or form. The running order was just probably the last nail in the coffin. And thank you for all the countries outside of Europe who gave Malta 1 point from the rest of the world. I have to say, coming from Malta, there is so much hate towards the public broadcaster right now.
Again?
Of course. The reality is that people were just thinking the busker is going to qualify because of we always seem to have it together with the staging and the PR and the marketing and what we do on the night, but we forget that the song was never going to please the televote at the jury. I mean, we like it, but it doesn't stand out like it should. Same, like I can compare it a little bit to Germany. We can like it. A lot of people can like it, but are you going to pick up the phone and vote for it when you have Sweden, Norway, Finland, Israel, Moldova, and all of these countries in the same semifinal? No.
I still thought it would qualify because they are cute, they have good energy, the stage was captivating. So I don't really explain to myself this horrible last place. What I do explain...
So you're telling that Netherlands went better than Malta?
Oh, well, they got 7 points. They got 7 points, Becca. And Azerbaijan got 4. And Ireland got 10. So this first semifinal, as I had predicted, was very divided between the top 9 and the rest.
I don't know if I'm happy because it makes me feel worse. Latvia was so close.
Oh my God.
So close.
Oh my God,
Latvia came 11th.
that
They only
fucking
needed
old
2
Serbian man, if there was no Croatia, he would have never qualified. Like, I had said it, nobody's voting for that shit outside of the diaspora, and that's what happened. It was a crazy-worthy performance. It was
how many
probably
points were? How many
3
points
points.
were big? And who was the 10th place?
Serbia.
Only 3
And
points.
Serbia got half of the points of number 9, by the
Yeah.
way. But, oh my God, I'm
But
actually
at least
so
Serbia
mad.
got something interesting in their performance. Latvia was just a snooze fest.
True.
Yeah, but the public liked it. No,
I'm
I'm
actually,
surprised it's
Not
like
enough.
11th.
Clearly
I
not
think-
enough.
I think that Serbia was probably the most undeserving song in the final because here the press completely panned it. It was a critical and commercial failure overall. Like even the diaspora, even the neighbors refused to vote for it. I have no.
That's the thing. It wasn't even popular, and like I always liked Serbia, and I always liked. the
But
song.
this
I have
entry
to
was
be
a disaster from the get-go.
I have
Let's
to
be
be
objective
objective,
here.
and we have to look back at how Samo Pava won the Serbian national final. It didn't win the jury, it didn't win the televote, and after it won the whole thing, people in Serbia weren't getting behind this.
No, absolutely no. They were calling him a
they
fag
always
and something
said-
like that.
They always said.
I saw the comments. They were like,
we're not saying that's right. We're not saying that's
Yeah.
right. Just for the record,
it's not
but-
right, of course, but that doesn't
but,
represent Serbia at all.
It wasn't a popular representation of Serbia within the Serbian community either, because a lot of people were criticizing, saying that they should have sent Prince or Zena.
Presidente.
Hey, see,
Because it represented Serbia much better.
No, but Sean, I can understand why people were mad. I mean,
yeah,
Luke Black is a joke of an artist, in my opinion. He is the son of some rich family who moved to London to pursue his music career because he didn't know what to do with his life. He called himself Luke Black because he was mourning the death of the Serbian music industry, and he chose that name on the year that Molitva won, by the way. And what else? He's like playing with electronic sounds in a very pretentious way while not having any sort of vocal abilities. To me, he's a complete joke. And I'm glad that he got some reality check.
Okay.
Harsh words, I know, but he's a joke. He shouldn't be a singer, period.
I think he pissed you off. I think he pissed you off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's keep it together.
Can't stand him.
Clearly.
Actually, I need to contact my friend from Montenegro who hates him as well.
Moving on to the second semi-final. What is really surprising to me here is that Australia won the televote, Austria came second, and both of those countries got very little televotes in the final.
Because they got shit running orders.
Maybe that helped. That didn't help, but I will say there were votes coming, especially towards Australia, from small countries in the semi-final. That I'm not gonna make any conspiracies here, but I'm looking at the 12 points from Albania, 12 points from Romania towards Australia, and I'm like,
they had no one else to vote for, and they're tiny televoting pools. So people were like, "Oh, this is the last song that I remember. Let me vote for it." Then it got forgotten.
They both got 0 from them in the final.
Yeah, but it got forgotten. I don't think they're tiny televoting pools, so these variations are bound to be there.
I'm less surprised by the semi-final win than the. I mean, Australia was the standout performance in the semi-final. That's for sure. They were last. They were the best performers. It was one of the best songs, if not the best song. The vocals were great. Everything was there.
In your opinion,
that's and Europe's opinion. I just don't know what happened in the final. But Georgia, 12th, not even 11th.
That was not a surprise, though.
Who came 11th? Because I didn't see
Iceland.
any results.
Iceland. Can we talk about Greece being completely
fair,
ignored?
To be fair, she had a good
Becca said this.
performance.
Yeah.
She did. Iceland
She
had a
did.
good performance.
I mean, I mean, I'm glad the fact it came 11, and I'm also glad for Georgia to came 12th. I mean, yeah, it was good for them. I mean, 11th place and 12th place. Yeah, well,
We need to talk
Iceland had
about
a good performance. They convinced me in the semi-final as well. I still didn't think it deserved to qualify, but I can respect this result for Iceland. But go ahead and tell us about Greece and their disastrous televote.
That's also disastrous. Okay, 12 from Cyprus, but they don't know any better. 2 from Armenia, 0 from Denmark, 0 from Albania. Yeah, I mean, that means that no one was sold from this song.
Yeah.
And the performance was really uncomfortable to watch. I mean, all my due respect to Victor Vernicos, but you just can't go from singing in your bedroom to singing on Eurovision stage with no experience. That's going to be the result. So if you're not cute and like a deer in the headlights like Blanche from Belgium, who already had experience at The Voice, by the way, she was the winner in Belgium, then don't do that. Don't do that. I understand that your parents might be rich, but don't do that. Try to get some experience first and then consider big stages. That's what all singers do.
Eurovision is the biggest stage, 200 million viewers every year. I don't think we're going to get more than 150 from this year, to be honest, but it's still the biggest stage in the world. And it's true. It's not a career starter. I always believe that Eurovision represents a slice of something successful at the time in the country. And I've said it in the past and I will say it again. I don't think there was a place for Victor Vernicos. I say this with love because I respect him so much that I'm going to talk about him as much as everybody else in the competition. And, if it was coming from another country who I have no problem talking about, any country, I would have said the same thing. It just so happened to be Greece this year. And this was a completely deserving right result, I think, for Greece. And hopefully they got the cold shower that I predicted they were going to get. And a lot of people told me you should be ashamed of yourself. But that
we need Greece back like next year. We need Greece back. Like, come on, Greece. You're an iconic country. Everybody likes you. Come on. Send us good songs that represent you.
Yeah.
Greece was sending songs that represented them. They always did well. Come on.
Exactly.
It's not hard.
I want the breaking of the plate. Bring them back.
Exactly. Stam.
But Denmark, 6 points, all from Iceland, didn't do great either.
I feel Dawn mentioned that. Poor Riley.
Oh,
poor
I
Riley.
wasn't gonna mention that. But y'all mentioned Spain's 5 points, and I'm gonna pick up on Denmark 6.
I'm no longer a Spain hater. I switched.
So now you switched.
I'm probably the only person who saw that performance. I was like, "Damn, this is actually good." Because nobody else voted for it.
I'm so proud of you.
I saw the performance, and it was a beautiful performance. And the fact that she kept the same one in Benidorm Fest, I actually appreciated that because it was actually really good, and she kept the same. It's just
it's broken, don't fix it.
Yeah. There is another thing that I wanted to discuss. I've been wanting to discuss for a while. Poland, 3rd place in the semi-final. Who is that?
EPIX, you look the guy from
Boots, man.
I have been said that before.
Wow.
I have been said that before.
That is a compliment.
Especially about my voice as well, being sounding like him. So.
You do have that type of voice, deep voice.
I forgot who represented Estonia 2016. I go look it up.
But
Play.
We were in Tallinn in 2019, you and me, and he walked past us, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Yes, yeah. Okay. I got it. Okay.
Poland, let's go. Poland. Now the haters are saying, this is of the diaspora, as if Poland didn't qualify for 3 years in a row. Like they failed to qualify for 3 years in a row with the diaspora, and once again they got like 40-something points in 2015 and 2017. So the diaspora can only do so much. People actually liked Solo, even from 4th in the running order in the final. Solo was 8th in the televote. I think that the Gen fans should just shut up at this point. I mean, Europe reacted to Solo.
Really helped because 12 from Ukraine, 12 from...
That was not diaspora. That was a thank you.
10 from Lithuania.
That's a thank
where
you.
half of
The song was already a #1 hit.
Poland and Lithuanians, 10 from UK.
That's diaspora. And Ireland is diaspora as well. But the song was still well liked. The song was well liked. I mean, let's face it.
I think the performance in general was just giving something that no one else was giving.
Exactly.
Silly,
Silly, carefree, fresh, summery. We did something like that.
I think really people really picked up on this warm weather motif.
Yeah, it was a Camila Cabello type of thing, and people like that stuff in Europe.
And it was what people expect from a singer, a song, and a performance like this. Like there was
Yeah.
not a single thing in that where something felt incohesive. For instance, we talked about the trampolines in Italy. That might have felt incohesive, even though it clearly didn't do any harm in the votes. But in the Poland's performance was very well executed. It's what people expected and more. Like anything they gave was just welcomed. Even the movie maker things. We talk about them here.
They were not bad, honestly.
Yeah, well, it was good. It was good.
For that song, it was well suited. But if I think to have been a different song, it wouldn't have been well suited for it.
Absolutely. Lastly, Romania and San Marino 0. Surprises?
Very well deserved.
But very surprised because the Spanish televote gave 0 to Romania, and Spain hosts about 1 million Romanian immigrants. So I'm telling that the diaspora power this year has diminished. Like it has been diminishing for years. Now it keeps diminishing. Like people are growing up, people feel less attachment to their homelands, and I get at least that's my theory.
Which is a pity,
but especially when the song is
not when it comes to Eurovision. Yeah. No, not the song. The performance itself was
both performances. I think were easily the weakest performances of the semifinal. I dare say Romania more than San Marino, although San Marino is a tiny country. You know, it's very difficult for them. And I did think San Marino was going to get 0, and here we are. Giorgio came to say hi. Mikea from Albania.
Hi,
Mikea. We would love to have you here anytime. And I just want to say, we've had this conversation, buddy. Albania this year, I'm so proud. I honestly don't. I should be sad about Albania coming 22nd overall, but that result 22nd.
Really?
Yeah.
God, that's why I would be 100% leveled back.
I don't feel a shrink of sadness for it because I know that the result is much smaller than what they actually achieved. I don't think they even care. Familia Kelemen.
That performance was fantastic.
Yeah,
fantastic performance.
Absolutely.
Entertaining from the first to the last moment.
I think we've covered most of it here and there. Right?
Yeah.
Any final thoughts before we disappear for the next 9 months?
I'm still very pissed. Finland did not win, but he's always going to be in our hearts. So, cha-cha-cha.
Cha-cha-cha. As the arena was chanting last night.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I'm actually wondering which countries are going to withdraw next year. I think that the only one that we might not be seeing again is Romania, who might want to take a year off just to sort things out, and then they will come back in 2025. But we will get more countries. We're getting Monaco, we're getting Luxembourg, we're getting probably Andorra. Yeah, they are debuting their new broadcasters, so they have a budget for Eurovision, and they intend to participate as soon as possible. They're debuting it in September. Then,
at least Luxembourg is confirmed.
Yeah, so we have all the micro-states, basically. And also, we might get Turkey back. Macedonia is certainly going to be back because they had said that's just 1 year off. Bulgaria, if they find a sponsor, they'll be back. I think we might get 42 countries next year, hopefully.
That would be
I want to have a good Eurovision next year. This year it wasn't the best. I'm hoping after 2 years in a row of not sleeping happily after final of Eurovision.
Yeah.
I want next year to go to bed with a smile on my face because this year it didn't happen again. And
I want Eurovision 2021 back. A lot of contenders, no clear winner, but in the end, the televote winner got their flowers, and all the others still got a great result. And that was a fantastic addition production-wise as well. This year, I'm not satisfied with the stage, I must say. No. Last year, it didn't function. Good idea, but didn't function. This year, it was just lazy. A giant LEDs box. Most of the performances were lazy. And I would have liked to see more props, more moving instead of
Yeah.
giant faces on LEDs, you know?
So let's hope for a good Eurovision 2024.
Yeah. At
Please.
least we know that
Absolutely.
Sweden will have a good production, but Finland would have been better.
Becca, to make you feel better, maybe the last time I was truly happy was in 2015 with the Mons winning. So
Whoa.
Oh,
you're good. You're good.
2015. Oh,
But I was
that's a long time.
happy yesterday because of Estonia. So I was still.
Yeah.
I
Very
went
well
to bed
deserved for Estonia.
pretty happy.
Very satisfied with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to thank all of you guys who have been watching our streams. I'm gonna pull up Alex, who is our friend in Estonia. Aita
Aw.
Alex, thank you so much for watching. And guys, don't forget to subscribe if you want to catch up on our content next year. We're gonna leave you with Luxembourg is returning, and we're hoping for a great Eurovision next year.
Yeah,
We
let's hope
will
so.
be back. Thank you so much for anyone who subscribed. Thank you so much for anyone who's been following, who's been watching. I'm really, really happy with the engagement this year. And I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you guys. And also for you three who are always here to
No.
chat to me about this little thing called Eurovision that I love so much. You know, you're my favorite panel. You know, I love you to pieces. And yeah, thank you so much. We will see you next year in
Yes.
Sweden. And that's it. Have a good afternoon and see you next year. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.